Hi everyone, Fox 61 Chief Meteorologist Rachel Frank here with a weather watch alert. What are we watching? Snow, wintry mix, eventually transitioning over to rain, but a prolonged period of icing in the hills where the impact from this storm will be the greatest. Along the shoreline, talking about a brief mix or brief time of snow before quickly changing over to rain. It'll take a little bit longer for the rest of inland Connecticut, but generally brief. And again, in the hills, we are talking about that greater concern for a glaze of ice on things. So not much snow. There could be a coating in spots, but certainly less than an inch, but up to 1/10 of an inch to 1/4 of an inch of ice in the hills, where that's going to be a greater concern. So slippery travel in spots later tonight into Thursday, especially for the higher elevations. So taking a look as we head between now and 7 o'clock at night, we start to see that snow and wintry mix begin to develop. I think everybody at least has the chance to see some winter weather when this is first arriving, but then we go over to sleet and then we eventually go over to rain. That will happen first at the Connecticut shoreline and last in northern Connecticut. Notice by 11 o'clock we're seeing rain in New Haven, rain in Waterbury, rain in Chester, likely rain or sleet in Windham, but still maybe seeing some sleet and freezing rain here up in Colebrook, in Stafford, and areas right along the Massachusetts border. There might be a little bit of a break in the action later tonight and overnight, where we're seeing just some patchy drizzle, some patchy freezing rain, but kind of not a lot falling from the sky. But things will fill back in again as we head towards daybreak on Thursday with areas of rain and freezing rain. So where will it be icy tomorrow morning? The greatest concern for sure is going to be in the hills. Colebrook is a concern. Norfolk is a concern. Stafford is a concern. Where it's trickier, and I think you should check in with the morning show crew, areas like Waterbury, where bridges and highway overpasses, on-ramps and off-ramps might be a little bit slippery, but generally other roadways that have been treated are okay. The same is true for the Hartford area. It looks like temperatures may be just above freezing, but still a close call. And definitely for southern areas, it's looking like just rain for the morning commute. So the morning commute's a variable. For some, the roads are wet and no big deal. For the hills, it's definitely looking icy. And in other locations, again, we're watching for sneaky slippery spots, but certainly not as widespread. As we head through the morning, we'll see precipitation rates really taper off, especially after 8 o'clock, maybe some lingering mist or drizzle. One thing we will have to watch as we head through the afternoon on Thursday, if there are any damp surfaces, if there's any drizzle, we may see temperatures drop below freezing in the northern half of the state. And that could mean any wet surfaces end up freezing up. So that's one thing that we'll be watching. That could be a little bit sneaky as we head through your Thursday, especially in the late afternoon and early evening. Then as we head into later Thursday night after around 9 o'clock, another chance for a light wintry mix coming through. And that could again put a little glaze on things before the storm is through with us. So a winter weather advisory in effect for the northern 4 counties of Connecticut, just to warn people that roads could be slippery for a time tonight. But again, it's really going to be Litchfield County, northwestern Hartford County, and the hills of Tolland and Windham County that we are the most concerned with. But even areas like Wolcott could see a light glaze of ice before that transition occurs. Generally about 1/10 to 1/4 of an inch of ice for areas like Salisbury, for Torrington. But as you head closer to the Massachusetts border, there could be a thin sliver where some areas get up over 1/4 of an inch. For the vast majority of the state, we are not concerned with power outages, even in northern Litchfield County, but there could be a select few that get over 1/4 of an inch, and things will start to really get weighed down, trees, power lines. So we'll be watching that carefully. Again, I don't think there's going to be widespread power outages, but there could be some trouble spots that we'll have to watch as we head into Thursday. Stafford, Union, you guys also really getting glazed up with ice. Tolland and Summers and Stores will too, but it won't be as much, again, as we're expecting in northern Tolland and Windham counties. Heading into your Friday, very windy. It is a blustery day. Gusts could get up to about 45 miles per hour. Temperatures in the 30s. The winds have changed, so to speak, because we are pumping in some colder air heading into the weekend. Highs only in the 20s on Saturday. Chance for some flurries. Not really a big deal. The cold is probably a bigger deal than the winter weather. And then on Sunday, we're up around 40. There is something interesting drifting we're watching heading into early next week. There are some signals that there could be a storm around, a bigger storm for Tuesday. This far out, it's really tough to get detailed other than saying, again, there's a signal there. Is it rain, snow? Is it a mix? Is it missing us? Those are questions that we will need to get answers for you in the coming days. Here's a look at your shoreline 7-day forecast. 40s the next couple of days, near 30 degrees on Saturday, cold right down to the beaches, and then we'll see some milder temperatures heading into next week.